Baggedmilk.
Hello.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good. Enjoying the weather.
We got a point the other night with the OT loss.
Yep.
To the best team in the NHL.
To the best team in the NHL, the Colorado Avalanche. And then last night we fell to Dallas. But I think, can I say this? Can I say that there are things from both games that we can take away, like positives?
100%. I mean, the game against Colorado was just a fun hockey game. And sometimes that's the way she goes. Last night was way more frustrating to me because the Oilers had a 3-2 lead in the third period with 5.5 minutes to go. They dropped it. Okay, fine. But yeah, 100%. They were sloppy and they were making mistakes and they just ended up getting the finish they deserved really at the end. So it was rough, but yes, there are lessons to take away from it. They hung with one of the best, like Grant said, the best team in the NHL against Colorado. They did decently well against Dallas. They played well enough to win. They just didn't execute on the details. So sure. Yeah, there are things to take away from that.
The new guys will be there for the next game against the Sharks, right?
I was going to ask.
Yeah, tomorrow the new guys are supposed to be in, as well as Ryan Nugent-Hopkins will be back as well. So they're going to get a little boost tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. Do we know what the motivation was, like what holes this Brett and Derick are filling, or is it just obvious?
Kulak is more obvious than Brassard, in my opinion. Like Kulak he's a legitimate defender and he's going to be on the third pairing to start, but I could see him moving up for sure in the lineup, depending on how he plays. Derick Brassard's a little bit more interesting to me because I think he's a hell of a player, but he's also been around a minute now. So I'm curious to see how he's used once he actually gets in, who comes out of the lineup in favor of him. The Oilers already gave away Tyler Benson's number. So we'll see how that one goes with Derick Brassard. I'm curious to see how it plays out.
Derick would make us a little grittier, like a little tougher to play against, is my thought on that.
He's going to be able to chip in on both sides of the puck a little bit, but he doesn't kill penalties. He's going to be able to, he's having a PDO heater for the nerds out there right now. So he's shooting at an incredibly high save percentage and he's going to be able to chip in. So I'm curious to see how he fits in. Where does he go? Does he play on the fourth line? Does he maybe play on the third line with Nuge a little bit? I'm going to guess fourth line center, but we'll see how it goes.
I got the Sharks tomorrow and then the Battle of Alberta on Saturday. And you will be in attendance for that one, paying a lot of attention to the game, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, Grant, you've been on one of our trips to Calgary before. Yes. If there's anything that we do on that trip, it is pay attention to every detail that is going down on the ice because we are laser focused on the game.
Is there any spots available to join the Oilers Nation still?
There's only a couple. So if you're listening to this right now, I urge you to get on the bus because we're going to be sold out. Just go to backsideTours.com. It's right there on the front page. Join us. We're going to have a great time. We're leaving Saturday around noon. We'll be back the next day, early afternoon. It's going to be a great weekend. Join us.
All right. Fingers crossed for at least a couple of points out of the next 3-4 games here.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, if you look at one of these slides,
if you're looking at it, like tomorrow night, to me, I know it's not mathematically a must-win game against the Sharks, but it's as close as it gets. You know, the Oilers need to put some distance between themselves and the Golden Knights. Thankfully, Vegas is helping us. The Dadonov trade they made on deadline day did not work for them. They lost again. They have injury problems. They're in cap problems. So we need to put some space between the Oilers and them. And tomorrow, to me, is a must-win game, just like Saturday against Calgary. They played well against Calgary.
Was there any? I didn't see what they ended up doing because the Golden Knights made a trade at the deadline. That then it came out the guy had a no trade clause.
That's right.
And did anything come from that? I kind of missed it.
I'm looking through right now, and I was checking before we jumped on this morning because I was wondering if you were going to ask. And as of right now, it's still going through the process with the NHL, but Dadonov has not been traded to the Anaheim Ducks, at least not yet. According to some of the cap sites, they've put him back on the Golden Knights just while they try to figure this out.
Weird situation because they traded him and then afterwards it was like, oh, he has a no trade clause and the Ducks are one of the teams he can't be traded to.
Yeah,
they might have wanted to check in on that.
Yeah, just a small detail that they probably should have sorted out. But I also feel bad for Dadonov too, because like he has a no trade clause on his contract for a reason, and if he doesn't want to go to Anaheim, he doesn't want to go to Anaheim. So what are you gonna do?
As always, thanks for your contribution. If you watch this on Locker Room TV, you'll see that James looks like he is in a Yeah, an interrogation.
Or in a red light room.
Yeah.
Something's
There's a lot of red going on
Yeah,
there.
I think he licks his camera or something. I'm not just before he goes on. All right, there he is, Baggedmilk from Oilers Nation. You guys have fun on Saturday.
Thanks, boys.
The Locker Room.
Brought to you by Always Plumbing and Heating.
Weekday mornings on 95.7 Cruise FM.